last time out, the boardwalk literally threw up several surprises. From flaming oil rigs to disconnections, the field was literally shaken. But through it all, Tom Jakes took his first win of the championship. Can he do it again? Hello there, Six Axis, my name is Chuggy, and today, welcome to the Interstate. So welcome this week to the Interstate, a interesting heat for you this week because we have a variety of courses which should in theory suit a variety of vehicles. Although the Interstate is primarily tarmac, there are plenty of jumps, uneven sections and off-road routes to take advantage of. So having said that, let's see what happens in race 1 and if Tom can take another heat win. So welcome to race 1 here on the Interstate. As mentioned, lots of flat, fast roads, so the low ground clearance vehicles in the field should have a good time, but with plenty of jumps, so you could see some buggies making some serious headway. Off the start, we're on board with Death and Flames. Good start in 5th position. It looks like already we've got some contact off one of the jumps, colliding with a buggy off jump number 1, down into 7th, 8th in fact, but anything can happen, and by the looks of it, as the field just moves along through the course, we've got some positions gained, and there we go, Death and Flames back to 5th place. Got a scrap here between Tom and the Berserker, I believe, there in the buggy, and it looks like Tom is getting really stuck in again, using the racing truck to his advantage and the weight to try and clear a path for himself. Racing truck might be at a slight disadvantage here, given that there aren't, or isn't too much rough terrain, and yet again, looks like Death and Flames is picking, or taking a thought or two from Tom's book of methodology of racing, using the muscle car there to clear space for him through that section. Now we are on board with Tom, up in 4th place, as you can see, bearing down on 3rd and 2nd place, coming round to complete lap 1. And looks like Death and Flames isn't done either, looking like he'll be taking the fight to Tom in the heavier vehicle. This should be good. As we have more scrapping for space on the road. Although there's a lot of road, it looks like not much of it is in too good a shape, but having said that, it looks like Death and Flames has got the job done, and Tom unfortunately getting caught out by the barrier, and yet again Death and Flames taking the fight to the cars ahead. That buggy didn't stand too much of a chance there, and here comes Project J in the muscle car. Looks like he's got a new paint job on there. Was in 2nd, looks like a little bit of oversteer again, caught him out there in the muscle car. They do have a tendency to slide around. Having said all that, Tom's profited, he's up into 2nd place. Now we're on board with Mad Junk Boy in the buggy in 5th position, coming round to complete lap 2 here, and the buggy really should enjoy enjoy an advantage over the jumps here on this course. A little bit of a softer suspension, a little more ride height should mean it should have less of an issue traversing the terrain, and as you can see it is gaining distance here, hand over foot. And we have caught up to Tom and Death and Flames fighting for 3rd and 2nd, and Project J literally is not too far behind. Looks like he's picking up a few pages from the methodology of Death and Flames and Tom, using the weight of his muscle car to push his opponents out the way. Is what we like to see, a good bit of scrapping, and literally everything is to play for here in this group for the podium positions. Coming up through this section for the final time, looks like a spectator or two is getting involved, trying to get close to the action. Now on board with Project J in the muscle car. The winner has finished. We don't know who that is at the moment, but anything could happen round this final bend. You can see that unfortunately the Project J's dropped on the field a bit, little more oversteer, but he crosses the line in style in 5th position, and look at that, Kegs 11 yet again in the mudslugger on this course has got a 12-second lead off race 1. Yet again, of course, it is time which is important here, not position. Having said that, very solid races from Death and Flames, Mad Junk Boy and Tom Jakes round out the top 4, with Project J coming in 5th, Kivy in 6th and Top Gear Sam in 7th. Berserker in the buggy finished in 8th on his first race, I believe, and the rest of the field come in. And after that race, Kegs is back in the lead with a massive 12-second lead off race 1, plenty of action up and down the field, and some really fantastic close racing with plenty of argy-bargy on the way. Let's see if we get the same in race 2. So here we are, race 2. Looks like the race course is fairly familiar. That's because it is. These series of races share a lot of the same course, just simply going in different directions or slightly different routes. So, off the start yet again, we're on board with Tom this time, making a cracking start. Looks like we've got yet more argy-bargy, an online assassin just got crushed into the accident emergency on his bicycle. That is unfortunate. Yet again, Tom does seem to be using the weight, and oh my goodness me, Kegs is doing the same thing in the mud plugger, trying to carve a path through the field. Heavier vehicles should not have a good time, and my word, it's all action off the start. We've got exploding vehicles, vehicles being crushed. Everything is happening off the start here, and yet again more vehicle contact with the buggy coming up on Symposium in the rally car. Tom just brushes him aside, carving his way through the field. Now on board with Death in Flames, pushing the boost to the limit on the curved bank there. Looks like we've got another muscle car battling for him for position as well, as we've got the field now coming together yet again on the interstate. Got Storm ahead in the buggy, moving ahead, and it looks like Top Gear Sam's being caught out by a road sign, literally and metaphorically. As we come round this left-hander to complete lap 1, it has been all action with multiple position changes, and yet again the spectator clearly wants to try and get some air miles. Coming on to lap 2 of 3, everything to play for. It looks like we have a scrap between two drivers ahead for 4th and 5th. That's Symposium and Tom Jakes. And given the form that Tom's been in, I wouldn't want to be in the rally car. Here we are taking the high line, interestingly, in the muscle car, taking advantage of this banking. Muscle car can really put down its power. Speaking of muscle cars putting down power, here we are with Project J using the banking. Ooh, interestingly, taking a different approach, side by side with Kegs 11 in the mud plugger. Let's see if Kegs decides to use his weight again. Perhaps not. My word, looks like the military aren't happy. RPG coming in from the side. Literally everything is kicking off here in race 2. Looks like the mud plugger getting some great airtime there. Unfortunately, it's not the fastest way to get around the circuit. Looks like Project J is taking the advantage. And massive oversteer, turning into a nice power slide round the final bend. Looks like the boost has had enough. And here comes Kegs using the weight. Everyone is getting involved. And my goodness me, that's put Project J back a bit. That's unfortunate. But having said that, looks like a few vehicles have had issues ahead. It's not all over for the midfield positions. As Project J falls down, unfortunately, to 8th. Everything to play for ahead, with Symposium obviously just ahead now. And here we are with Mad Junk Boy in the buggy. Look at that, in first position, clearly making or using the advantage the buggy has in this rather unstable terrain, let's say. Using the jumps to the advantage, using the suspension, using all the road to gain an advantage, and it looks like coming to the final bend of the final lap, it looks like Mad Junk Boy might have this one sewn up. It looks like the military want to try and stop him though. Plenty of rounds ricocheting off the bodywork of this buggy, but it won't stop Mad Junk Boy. Superb win there for him. And it looks like Death in Flames there has come in second. We're just going to have to wait for the scoreboard to come up, and looks like we've got Tom Jakes finishing in style, but there's Kegs not finishing in first as we have seen him doing in the past, finishing a full 11 seconds behind Mad Junk Boy. That could prove to be very, very, very costly later on. And after race 2, drama, shenanigans, action, everything we want to see from a Motorstorm race. A superb win by Mad Junk Boy, 4 seconds ahead of Death in Flames, has almost negated Kegs' first race lead. Everything looks very close and interesting going into race 3. So here we are, race 3, and race 2 winner, Mad Junk Boy, takes us from the start. Starting down in 12th position of 13, makes a cracking start up to 9th. Just watching out for other vehicles, lots of aggression going on this week, and sure enough we've already had contact between vehicles, and it looks like we're going to have a collection of cars all collecting each other here, going through turn 1. Off the jump here, and yet more contact. Looks like Mad Junk Boy has dealt with that though, resetting to track quickly just to get pointed in the right direction. And here's the Berserker again, using more impact, and oh, the buggy there caught out by that stationary car, ripping off the front right suspension and brakes. That is an unfortunate incident, no doubt will cost Mad Junk Boy some time and definitely some positions. But it looks like there's some more carnage up and down the field. A few cars, and my goodness me, speaking of carnage, we've got some car-on-car action with Tom and Kegs battling for first place. Kegs obviously trying to get a nice early lead to try and extend the time advantage, but Tom's having none of it. Tom's using that racing truck on the racing track, and he is pushing the boost, he's pushing his axles to the limit to get around this race course. Coming on to lap 2, over the first little jump here after turn 1, and it looks like we've had to send in some helicopters to clear the path. It looks like we're going to have some terrain deformation going on in this race, and here comes Keggs yet again on the right-hand side. Will there be some contact? There will be some contact, but not from Keggs. That looked like Death in Flames. Unfortunately, Tom has been pushed back into 4th place after that bit of contact here. Plenty of time, plenty of ground though to catch up in positions. Here we are on board with Project J in the muscle car. Indeed, looks like it's sporting some new bodywork and paintwork, looking very nice indeed, very fly as we get some airtime. In 5th place, catching up on Tom, who just suffered that unfortunate little shunt there, and looks like he's lost yet another position. Project J here. No! Oh no! Unfortunately caught out, perhaps a little bit of understeer straight into the rock, ripping off the front left suspension. But Project J straight on it, using the oversteery, speedy muscle car to his advantage. Unfortunately, it looks like we have a disconnection. Symposium has disconnected, means he'll get the slowest time in this race. And we move on to the final lap, catching up Tom yet again. Looks like that little incident hasn't put off Project J. And yet more contact, and yet again Tom has made a push to try and get a bit of space, but Project J is having none of it, straight on the gas. Now we're on board with Death in Flames in the lead, looking like he's coming up towards the end of the lap and the end of the race. Can he hold the lead? Let's find out. The muscle car here clearly enjoying the fairly flat conditions, but making use of the jumps where possible to eke out some lead. And look, we've got some real oversteer action across the line. A class win for Death in Flames there at 2 minutes 49 seconds, followed by Keggs a mere 3 seconds behind. It's still all to play for in the overall standings. Tom comes in 3rd, followed by Mad Junk Boy. Looks like unfortunately Project J has been caught out. There he is in 6th place. Kivy, an excellent 5th place there overall in the rally car. And we have Top Gear Sam on the motorcycle after that brief incident, that brief crush. Oh no, tell I, that was Online Assassin. But the motorbike's still doing well here. Top Gear Sam in 7th, followed by Storm, Berserker and Motilla. THL Network comes in home in 11th place as we wait for the rest of the field to finish. And there's Online Assassin back from the hospital ward. That's what we like to see. And after race 3, after yet again more drama, more action, can we take any more? I don't know. Death in Flames takes another impressive win in this championship, 4 seconds ahead of Keggs 11, who was then followed by Tom Jakes a further 5 seconds behind him. Having had these first 3 races, the first 3 drivers this week being Death in Flames, Keggs and Mad Junk Boy are only separated by a few mere seconds, with Tom not too far behind. Going into the final race, anything could happen. Let's see what happens next. So here we go, race 4, the final race. Everything to play for, nothing is won yet. Here we start on board with Project J off the start. Looks like the muscle car has had a little issue getting off the line, perhaps a little bit of wheel spin onto the first straight, off the first jump, currently down in 10th place, and it looks like the race course has taken on a rather moody aesthetic. Looks like we're getting towards the end of the day's racing here, and who knows what could happen to this race course during the race. And we've got all sorts of action yet again between vehicles, ramming, shunting for position. What we like to see, a little bit of madness in the Motorstorm. Here we got Top Gear Sam on the motorcycle, looking to pick his line. Looks like he's going on the high line, using his motorcycle's lightness and agility to his advantage as well. That's a good way to get the best out of the motorcycle. We've got a massive accident between Tom and looks like Keggs, now on board with Tom, chasing down Project J and Keggs, all to play for again in the timing state. Keggs has got to get a solid finish to bolster his chances of winning this week. As we come to complete lap 1, Tom not far off the pack in the midfield, currently in 9th, make that 8th. Looks like the muscle car got a little caught out there, lack of suspension, but all to play for in the midfield. Looks like we've got Keggs and another driver up ahead, scrapping for room. You won't want to get on the wrong side of that mud plugger, and here comes Online Assassin on the motorcycle, battling for position. It's in fact THL Network in the rally car who is battling there with Keggs. And unfortunately, it looks like Tom's got stuck on some scenery, got rammed into a corner, quick reset to track to get him facing the right way. Unfortunately, positions have been lost. Now we're on board with Mad Junk Boy in the buggy, yet again making use of the buggy's unique strength, which is its agility, is its lightness, is the ability to take the jumps well. In first position, with it looks like no one around him. This is a superb drive here by the buggy driver, taking the situation as it seems the situation is changing. I think we may have an earthquake on the way. This could change everything. Who knows what could happen as we approach the bridges and the jumps for the final time. And goodness gracious me, the buggy has failed structurally. It has lost all of the wheels. Could only assume that that's the earthquake. Good lord, look at the city, everything's burning. Everything is going off in this final race, and this is critical for time. Can Kegs get the final little bit of extra time to win this week? Who knows? It's gonna be close. Death in Flames, the nearest challenger, boosting towards the line on the final lap. Has he won? Yes, he has.
Come on.
And let's just see as the times come in. That's a 2:33. Let's see how the timings work out. Unfortunately, the camera has gone a little blurry, but I believe that must be Kegs crossing the line there. Who knows if we've got the time advantage. We're going to have to total all the times up. But a solid race win there from Death in Flames. A mere 2.5 to Mad Junk Boy. And a mere 3 or 4 seconds to Kegs in third. This is going to be close, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see how the final scoreboard has worked out.
Oh my god. Berserker, well done, sir.
And after another stunning win, Death in Flames by a mere few seconds takes the overall win this week from Kegs 11. The massive lead that Kegs had in the first race eroded slowly across the final 3 races. As I've said before, it's the time which is important here, not the positions. But a sterling set of races from other races such as Mad Junk Boy and Tom Jakes have netted yet more points for their little rivalry. And as you can see overall, it's very close at the top. Just 4 points between first and place being Kegs and Death in Flames respectively, and in third and fourth again another 4-point gap between Tom and Mad Junk Boy, 61 to 57 points there. And don't count out the rest of the field. A good race result for them and a poor for the leaders could bring everything back together again. So I'd like to thank you for joining us this week out on the Interstate. Be sure to catch us next week out up in the skyline.